Thank you for the kind introduction. One of the things that I asked is that whoever I get introduced by have the same first name so that I can remember their name as I go to give my remarks. So thanks, Alan, for that. It's an honor to join you here today. As he mentioned, I joined in the Guard unit here in Hampton back in 1982, and one of the first people I met sitting right over here is retired First Sergeant Lester Lilly, who was a mentor to me throughout the years, and also joining us here today, Marv Spangenberg and Denny Philpott and Keith Coates-Meadle and Sergeant Ray Sack, who are several of the members that I met as I was coming into the organization and that I learned from throughout my time in the Guard. Today, as we gather on this late spring day in Iowa, we remember and honor American soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, ordinary men and women who died in extraordinary service to their country. Because of their valiant efforts, we are able to peacefully gather here today in communities all across the state and nation. And as I mentioned on the ride in here to the driver of the vehicle that I got the pleasure of riding in today, a little fancier vehicle than I normally get in for sure. It was, I was remarking how, you can't get it any better than small town America, small town Iowa, and in particular Hampton. With all the people that were lined in the street as we came up here. Today we remember and honor the families and loved ones of those selfless warriors who carry the burden of this sacrifice that we can never repay. The meaning of Memorial Day differs dramatically from that of Veterans Day and Armed Forces Day. Veterans Day pays tribute to all who have served this great nation, while Armed Forces Day recognizes those that are continuing to serve. Memorial Day is more than just the beginning of summer. It is a time to honor those who have died in service to this nation. Recognition of military service is common throughout the world, and honoring sacrifice to one's country is not unique to America. But Memorial Day is. It is uniquely American. And as Madison talked about President Lincoln's speech there at Gettysburg, he may have set the foundation for Memorial Day when he made those brief but moving words, said those brief but moving words. The world will little know nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. Our day to remember those who died in service to our nation was born at the end of the war, fought within our own borders, a war fought between states, fought by Americans against Americans. And during the American Civil War, both sides suffered terrible losses, 600,000 dead, including more than 13,000 Iowans. But it was a simple act of honoring their service and adorning soldiers' graves with flowers of May that gave birth to Memorial Day. While many communities lay claim to the birth of Memorial Day, it was the Grand Army of the Republic, an organization of Union veterans, who proclaimed the first Decoration Day on May 5th, 1868. The day was set aside for citizens to honor our fallen Civil War soldiers by placing spring flowers on their graves. The nation's first large observance was held that same year at Arlington National Cemetery near D.C. By the end of the 19th century, Decoration Day ceremonies were held across the country on May 30th. It was not until after World War I that the day was expanded to honor all who had perished in every American conflict. In 1971, Congress declared Memorial Day a national holiday. Since the end of the Civil War in 1865, when both Union and Confederate cities, towns, villages dipped their flags to half-mast and decorated the graves of their fallen soldiers, our nation has paid tribute to those courageous men and women who have fallen in service to their nation. And since last Memorial Day, 6 Iowans have given their lives in the name of freedom while proudly serving their nation. Sergeant First Class Terry Pasker from Cedar Rapids, Sergeant Robert Briggs from Hillsboro, Captain Matthew Nielsen from Jefferson, Corporal Zachary Reif from Preston, Master Sergeant Travis Riddick from Centerville, and Navy SEAL John Tummelson from Rockford. This war has touched nearly every community within Iowa, and Hampton's no different, with the loss of 2 of your own in the global war on terrorism. Let us pause for a moment of silence as we remember their selfless sacrifice and honor their loved ones. remember our fallen Americans, let us never forget those Iowans that have paid the ultimate price in defense of freedom. And let us never forget the profound sacrifice of their families. We must also remember the more than 1,300,000 Americans who have given their lives during all conflicts in our nation's history. The military graves at countless cemeteries across Iowa and across the globe remind us daily that freedom is far from free. Freedom has a terrible cost. The men and women we honor today lived the lives and personified the values that have created the backbone of our nation by paying a heavy price. These warriors share a special heritage, a common bond. If you looked into their lives, whether privates or admirals, you would clearly see the bedrock of their character. Loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. These brave men and women left the safety of their beloved Iowa soil to defeat tyrants, ensure justice, and fulfill the promise of safety and security for our citizens and the global community. Their lives were dedicated not to conflict or death, but to compassion and to life. A particular recognition this Memorial Day is the end of Operation Iraqi Freedom this past year, and nearly 4,500 Americans who gave their lives during the 8 years of that conflict. Let us remember these brave warriors and their loved ones, and especially our 65 Iowans who made the ultimate sacrifice. Let us remember the nearly 2,000 Americans who have given their lives in Afghanistan during Operation Enduring Freedom, and especially the 20 Iowans who gave their last measure of devotion there in service to our nation. We have all been touched by the ultimate sacrifice our American service members have made to their country, and the immense suffering it has brought to mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, spouses, loved ones, and friends. Let us remember the Gold Star families who have lost their service members to illness, injury, and combat. Those families that have remained strong through uncertainty, and whose resilience, dedication, and commitment their loved ones continue to shine as beacons through the darkest hours for all of us. Today, I ask you to remember and honor our missing warriors as well. Our nation will never rest in its effort to locate, identify, and repatriate those servicemen and women who have not yet returned home. And as spring in Iowa is a season of promise, warmth, and growth, let this Memorial Day be a beginning and rebirth of our commitment to live and to serve with passion, joy, and enthusiasm. Let us start summer with a celebration of liberty, love, and life. It's been a privilege for me to join you here today. Thank you for spending a moment together in honor of our fallen men and women. And as I accuse Bo of stealing my line, but it bears saying again, may God bless you, your families, the great state of Iowa, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.